Is it on? Is it on? Okay. I'm filming my first YouTube video ever. This is crazy. Hello everyone and welcome to Teaching with Tania. I am Tania, of course, and I'm so glad that you're here. This is my first YouTube video ever filming, so bear with me. I am super excited that you are here because you guys can go along this journey with me. Today we're going to be talking about 5 things that I wish I knew before going to college, because let's face it, college is just a huge adventure within itself, but these are just 5 things that I wish I knew before heading into my freshman year of college. So let's get into it. So the first one I have is don't go to college unless you want to. Like, yes, your parents may push you or suggest that you go to college, but at the end of the day, it has to be a choice that you want to do because it's your major, it's your degree, it's your life, essentially. So I just suggest that you pray about it and really think about what you want to do and if you need a degree for that, because like I said before, our parents probably went to college, or your parents probably didn't go to college, but at the end of the day, that's their life. Those were their choices that they chose to do. So don't go to college unless that's what you want to do. And there's also a thing called community college. I know a lot of people like shy away from that, and I don't know why, because especially if you're going into college and you don't really know what you want to do, community college is a great... So sorry about that, my camera shut off, but community college, like I was saying before, community college is a great way to at least get your gen eds out of the way. So don't sleep on community colleges, because they are a good service for those who are on a budget and just get more bang out of your buck, especially if you are undecided. The second tip I have for you all is to be open-minded. I know we've heard adults say, some adults, I'm not going to overgeneralize, but some adults say, oh, college was my prime, college was the best time of my life, all of that. And that's cool for them. But make sure you're not trying to live in anybody else's shadow or even have your expectations as high as them, because you're on your own journey. And I just want you to remember that, to go into college open-minded, whether that's trying out for dance teams, sports teams, cheerleading teams, or other campus events. There's so many organizations on campus that I encourage you to get involved in, because it just makes your college experience that much better. But also realize if it's not true to you, don't do it. And once you get to college, you'll find friends, your clique, that you just gravitate towards because that's who you vibe with. So I just encourage you to be open-minded and be open to learning, because at the end of the day, it is college. We are here to learn, but you can also have fun. So if you're open to learning new things, whatever it's in your major, outside your major, in your gen eds class, or like in your academic classes, in your regular academic classes, sorry about that, in your regular academic classes, then I just feel like you will get so much more out of college as opposed to going in closed-minded. So I suggest being open-minded, be willing to try new things, meet new people, and just put yourself out there, because once you become uncomfortable in college, that's when you start to grow and come into yourself, because most college students are like 18 to like 24, 25, so they're in the same boat as you as well. So just be open-minded. So the third tip I have for you all is to have an end goal. Whether that's to get your associates, your bachelor's, your master's, whatever your end goal is, write it down, or write it down and have action steps that go along with that goal. Because I know some people are just in college taking classes to be taking classes. I never really understand that, but hey, to each his own. If you're not in college knowing what you want to do, I feel like it sort of is a waste, but you probably are getting other experience just by being in college. But I suggest you have an end goal on what degree you want or what path you want to take in life. As for me, for example, I would love to be a teacher, so I have to go to college to get some sort of degree. So my degree is early childhood education, and I just cannot wait to start teaching in my own classroom. So that's what worked for me. So I encourage you to find what your end goal is and why your purpose behind going to college, because some days you're not going to want to get out the bed to go to class, and then you have to remember, why am I here? Why am I doing this? And that kind of follows back on my first reason of do it because you want to do it, not because your parents told you to do it, because you might not do as well if you're being pushed to go to college. But I encourage you, like I said, to have an end goal, your why for going to college, and keep that in mind when classes get tough or it's the end of the semester and you have a bunch of papers to do. Remember your why and your goals for being in college. The fourth advice I have for you is to please advocate for yourself. I have seen so many situations where if students were not as scared to advocate for themselves, like the situation would have turned out completely different. Whether it's advocating for yourself with emailing professors or your advisors or even like the financial aid department. Yes, emails get you some places, but sometimes if it's a long email, if it takes more than 5 emails to basically resolve something, you need to go speak to that person face to face, because at the end of the day, things get construed in emails, people words, people tones. I just encourage, especially if they have open door policy, you can go to their office, whoever you're communicating with, and knock on the door and say, hey, can I just talk to you for a minute if you're not busy? And just advocate for yourself. And sometimes you get a lot more done face to face, unfortunately, than over email, because they have so many other students to work with. Like, you're probably just another one of them if you go to a big college. But I just encourage you to advocate for yourself, whether that's in class, about grades, professors, any of that, like I said. And it can be hard sometimes knowing how to advocate for yourself, but the more times you do it, like the better times you practice, it will become easier to do over time. So make sure you're advocating for yourself and having your professors know your name, or your advisor, or even knowing your story, sharing a little bit about your testimony and the things that you want to accomplish. You have no idea that personal connection can go a long way. That's another thing I've learned, and I wish I knew that starting my freshman year. But going to my senior year, I have a bunch of professor connections, and I'm just so grateful that I created those my sophomore year and sort of into my junior years, or my junior semester. The last thing I have for you all is to allow yourself grace. College is hard, not gonna lie to you, but I beat myself up about so many things my freshman year, things that I thought I should be doing that I wasn't doing, or things that I should have did that I wasn't doing. It was just basically a mental battle going in my head. But I had to realize it's your first semester. I had to realize it was my first semester or my first year in college, so allow myself grace. Also, to extend that to you all, to whatever you're doing, making sure that you're doing the best that you can, but also realizing, like, for time management, something that I personally struggled with. I was like, all these assignments, how can I get this done? And so I was doing things at the last minute. Even though they got done, it was just, I created a hassle for myself that didn't need to be there. So I encourage you to allow yourself grace. You're figuring out the ropes. College is a whole new world for most people. So you have to allow yourself grace and be patient, but also ask a bunch of questions. If you don't know something, 9 times out of 10, the other people don't know it either. So don't be afraid to raise your hand. Don't be afraid to ask that extra question, or even for a professor to clarify something to you because you didn't understand, whether it's during class, after class, tutoring hours, whatever. Allow yourself that grace that you're not going to get them the first time, and just because you look dumb in front of everybody else, they probably have the same question as well, believe me. So that is all that I have for you in today's video. Those are the 5 things that I wish I knew going into my freshman year, and now that going into my senior year, I just hope to encourage you all to be excited for college, but also know that you're on your own journey. So I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you liked it, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys in the next video.